Hello and welcome to another morning briefing presented by Stein Investments. Things are changing fast and we are very happy to present you frequently updates with new features based on the feedback from our community. And today I'd like to present you another amazing one. So today's video will cover the current volume analysis and the volume situation yesterday, where we presented our profit trades. Then I'd like to have a closer look at the new easy insight features like the time lapse feature and the new cleanup. Then we'll do a quick trade review of yesterday's trades. I already posted in a screenshot. And then we'll do some new AI analysis and have a look at what this new time lapse feature offers. So let's start with the current market situation. This time the drop came pretty quickly, but the market reversed and traders are keen to open new positions. You see we have a sharply rising total trading volume curve here, and the main interest is new positions here in the euro. And this situation here with a rising euro and a falling US dollar is pretty clear. Euro US dollar rises currently. You see it here as well. The euro is pretty strong, not that much, but very healthy, and the US dollar is very weak. So this trend might last for a while, especially because the retail trading volume and the rising interest in new positions fuel this trend, and that's what we have already seen during yesterday's New York session. I will just browse quickly back here, and there you see that there has been a stable total trading volume here during the midday, and then there was a clear rise here, and this was fueling the trend. I already posted it in the screenshot yesterday in the morning briefing channel, and this is exactly what we need to see stable trend moves and stable profit trades. So always have a look at this information, and if you didn't use FX volume yet, I can only encourage you to buy or rent this tool. Give it a try, because it's definitely essential for every serious trader. Now let's move on to Easy Insight, the dominating topic here these days at Stein Investments, because the opportunities we have with this tool are simply exceptional. And the feedback from our customers, in this case shout out to Gerard, inspired us to create a new function. He asked for more like a history of export files, so that the AI can see how things evolved over time and might recognize trends in a different way than with a snapshot of a moment in time, which is only a snapshot, and the AI doesn't know where the data comes from in history, like an hour before or so. So what we've done is we created a new section, the time-lapse export settings here. You can enable it. It's enabled by default. We decided to go with a 15 minutes interval, which is useful because things doesn't change that fast, and you need to consider how many data files you can upload to the AI, because if it's too much, you ran in a message limit, as I did yesterday with Claude AI, which told me I can't analyze so much data in the free plan. You have to go pro. And so I stick with the standard analysis on Claude AI and did the time lapse analysis with ChatGPT, where I already have the pro plan. So then there is another subfolder for the time-lapse files, which is separated from the regular export we used so far. And we already noticed that we get plenty of files, even with just the regular export, that we decided it it's best to add some cleanup settings, and here you can decide in which interval you like to get them cleaned up. So if they are outdated, for the regular files it's 30 days, and for the time-lapse files it's 15 days, because the time-lapse folders grow faster due to the 15 minutes snapshot that are saved, in this case then for 15 days. So that's it from these new functions, and I will definitely have to create a new tutorial video for Easy Insight. The same is true for Easy Trade, which becomes better and better with every release. This one is version 1.22, which will released later today. I will test it here live with you when trading the AI recommendations we'll do in a few minutes. But before it comes to new trading opportunities, I'd like to check the trades of yesterday. And we started yesterday with an entirely new account, because before that the results have been achieved on an account we used to do the easy trade tests with, and I thought it makes sense to separate this, to have a account that is dedicated to the AI trades and not distracted by any other things, which then influences the entire statistic of the account and so on. So that's long story short. I traded yesterday before the US CPI news, which was completely nonsense, because there has been not much movement at all, and you see it here. The entire situation here was break even before I closed them 5 minutes before the news released, and we can have a look at them. Okay, I have to scroll back here. So this was the first round, which already gave some profits. Here you see 2 arrows in blue and 2 arrows in red, because the British pound against the Canadian has been an opportunity which was detected by ChatGPT and Claude AI. And then there has been a second trade on this pair detected by ChatGPT that was done in the afternoon. Pound US dollar was good, but released its strength after the news release, and there we have been already out, because here was the news spike, and this would have gone the other way as well. So you never know. That's why I close it up front. Then the Canadian dollar against the Swiss franc didn't work, as you can see here. The window snapping back. So anyway, I think we don't have to go through all these single trades, but the overall result is pretty clear. These AI analyses are definitely a huge benefit, and with ChatGPT yesterday afternoon we already used the new time-lapse analysis, and the results have been very impressive. Nonetheless, our classic analysis here done with Claude AI performed excellent as well, and so we won all trades in this round, and I really hope we can continue like that. And so I would say let's do a new analysis with Claude AI and ChatGPT, and then we'll see how the results will be for today. Before we do so, just one important information I'd like to give, because there have been several questions in our group and in private when I do my analysis with the AI, and the timing for me is the same as I've done previously with my manual trading, where I've done it myself, and this is usually an hour after the exchange opened, because then the dust has been settled, the price gets some structure, and the trends that are established then will usually last at least until the next session opens. This means if the London session starts at 8 a.m. London time, then I start checking the market or analyzing the data at 9 a.m. London time. And then I trade it or keep the trades open just right before the New York session starts, because New York adds another characteristic. The sentiment and dynamic might switch completely, and so I close these trades before the New York session starts, and then I wait for an hour and then do another AI analysis, which is my second batch of trades until the London session and my working day ends. And that's a pattern that works fine for me, but of course you can experiment yourself what suits you best. Nonetheless, the most important tip is don't do it right at the opening. Just wait 30 to 60 minutes and do the analysis then. So the new export features come with a new file structure as well. So we have our Easy Insight folder here in MQL5 files right in your terminal, and then you have the regular Easy Insight output, and this is the actual data file. I'm a bit late right now because we are already 2 hours after London opening, but that doesn't matter that much for this video. So we have this data file output and the prompt for the classic Easy Insight analysis. On top of that, we have an extra folder called Time Lapse, and this contains the history of recorded files. So we have a timestamp here of 10:57, another timestamp 10:41, 10:25, 10:08, etc. The interval is not entirely correct because I've done some recompiling due to minor changes which are already coded for version 1.16, and so there is always a new data file created whenever I compile this, but this is just a side note. What is even more important is that the time lapse comes with an entirely new AI prompt, and we'll compare this here in the editor. This is our classic analysis AI prompt. It sets clear goals and tells the AI what is to do and what criteria qualify for a valid trade recommendation. Means the risk-reward ratio needs to be greater than 0.5. The ATR has to be below 100%. FX power delta shows consistent direction across all analysis periods, and so on. But if we want the AI to add some intelligence and just to see how it performs, then we have to delete these goals, provide new information, and say there are several CSV files that are exported at regular intervals. Each file is timestamped and reflects a snapshot of the market. Analyze multiple files to detect trends, transitions, or emerging signals. This allows the AI to see market evolution over time, similar to a time-lapse video. Please draw your own conclusions from the evolving values rather than fixed rules. And this is the main difference between the classic analysis based on a single point in time and the time-lapse analysis here based on several files. And I would say we'll test it straight away. Let's start with Claude AI. In this case, I use the classic analysis due to the message limit of the free version of Claude AI, and I use the Claude 3.7 Sonnet and just upload the data files and send. Then we have to wait for a few seconds and we usually get the results. And what is very interesting at Claude AI is the reasoning, and it's really interesting to read. And I always recommend to double check the output, because sometimes I notice that the information has been wrong. it became better over time, and there is a serious difference between the version 3.7 Sonnet and the previous version 3.5, which the AI switches back if the 3.7 model is too busy. And so I just say out of my experience that the reasoning and recommendations of 3.7 are definitely better. I found several promising trading setups that meet or nearly meet your criteria. So it already says that it doesn't stick to the rules 100%, but no problem for me. The recommendations have been excellent so far, and so I will trade the suggestions here from Claude AI, which is Euro NZD buy, New Zealand dollar Canadian buy, Euro Canadian buy, Aussie dollar Canadian buy. Interesting that only buy opportunities here around today, but doesn't matter. If you are unsure if this is correct, you can then still ask here in the AI prompt window if there is no sell setup available, and then Claude will do the check again and maybe come around with something. But we'll focus on the recommendations right now. I move the window away and trade them one by one. Euro NZD has been a buy recommendation. Okay, I see the euro is rising. We already see that in the volume. There is a resistance level which is pretty close, but it's not that old, so it's possible to be broken soon. And then the next one is here above. So I would say let's go for that. Set the stop loss here and go with the take profit right below the next resistance. Another one is the New Zealand dollar Canadian, also a buy. Okay, this has been a perfect breakout setup here with the New Zealand on the strong side, Canadian on the weak side. The support level has been tested already. This rejection here gives us a better entry, and so I'll go with this one as well. Then we have the euro against the Canadian dollar, which is also a perfect breakout setup here, a bit closer to the next resistance level. So this is, in my opinion, a very unfortunate risk-reward ratio, but doesn't matter. If we reach our target, we'll win anyway. And then we have the British pound against the Canadian. So, okay, the Canadian dollar will be shorted against all others. This is the pattern of this analysis here. And this is one I wouldn't trade, because this is a very old resistance level and the price rejected already. And I don't expect the price breakthrough quickly, due to the reason that the British pound isn't very dynamic here to the upside, and the Canadian dollar is currently a bit recovering. And old support and resistance levels are usually harder to be broken than younger ones, like a day or two. And so I would skip this one and have a look at the Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. And there the situation is definitely better. We have a new support level here, which will be our stop loss. And then I would say we go for the 80% ATR, because there is no resistance inside, at least not detected on the M5 here by FX levels. So that's it for Claude AI. And now we move on to the time-lapse analysis with ChatGPT. Before we do so, we switch the trading chart, because I have one trading chart for Claude AI and another one for ChatGPT. The new version 1.22 provides information about the strategy we trade and the individual magic number as well as a new spread information, and in this version is also the commission calculated, which is part of your risk, and so we have a more fine-tuned risk and reward calculation as it has been in the first release. So let's open the ChatGPT window here. I usually open a new chat with ChatGPT so that it forgets the older information and doesn't consider any from the archive. I just want to have my newly uploaded data to be considered, and in this case I'll go to the Time Lapse folder, then I upload the Time Lapse AI prompt and the last three. No, that's too much. Let's go for this one, and then I want to have the last three data files here, which is enough in my opinion, because this covers the last 30 minutes of information and should be enough to detect any trends. So the data is uploaded. I'll fire it to ChatGPT and we'll see what comes back. Okay, the return is in German now. It's a bit unfortunate, but I will translate that for you later on. So I paused the recording because this takes some time, but the reasoning here is very interesting and the documentation of the steps the AI is doing. We can start with the announcement what ChatGPT is doing, which symbols have changed in this time period, if there are new trade setups, where the volatility provides potential, if there is any breakthrough in S1 or R1 level. This is indeed interesting because I didn't say to do so, but it came on its own to this conclusion to check for that. And then it tells me that the three data points will be compared to each other and checked for changes in the delta FXP, net long change delta, volume change delta, etc. And then there is a comparison sheet, and here are the 5 most positive changes. So Euro NZD is going upwards, British Pound NZD, gold against the Aussie dollar, etc., etc. These symbols are currently the most prominent. Do you want to like potential setups? Yes. Please provide trade recommendations. We'll see if the answer will come in English now. I hope so. Okay, the first response came in German, and so I requested a translation to English, and the result has been pretty surprising because it said currently no symbol fulfills all criteria simultaneously for an optimal setup. Symbols with strong FXP changes are not close to support or resistance zones. So it sets its own criterias and then notice that none of the pairs matches one of these criteria, and so there is currently no trade recommendation based on that. We are likely in a transitional phase. Many currencies are starting to shift significantly, but the final element for a perfect setup is still missing. You could wait for the next snapshots, alternatively prepare a volatility breakout setup for... Okay, so now it's up to us what we'll do next. One option is to live with it and don't trade this time lapse analysis, or we go with our classic analysis and see what ChatGPT will tell us here. Please analyze and provide the output. in English. Okay, and there is the result. So based on our classic analysis, the current timestamp and the AI prompt with the fixed criterias, ChatGPT found two top trade setup based on your strategy criteria: consistent FXP, risk reward over 0.5. One is Euro US dollar buy and the other one is Canadian dollar yen sell. So we'll go with this one. Euro US dollar on the buy side. That's pretty much what I already said at the beginning of this video with the volume analysis, and I have to go with a smaller scale. We'll use the dynamic and use the closest support level as stop loss, and there is a 4 days old resistance which will be our target. Not ideal, of course, because the risk is almost double as high as the reward in this scenario. And the other one was Canadian dollar against the Japanese yen. Here a sell trade. Okay, a pretty easy setup here. And we'll take this one as well. Stop loss here and a profit target here. So we'll see how this turns out until New York opens, and I'll keep you posted in the morning briefing channel and the Telegram groups. So if you are interested in our indicators that are the basis for the easy insight analysis and all our chart analysis, you'll find them at our Welcome at Stein Investments page. This is the central hub for all information about our company, our tools, our strategies, and here you will find our brand new section with Easy Insight all in one, and Easy Trade, the excellent trade management tool which becomes better and better with every release and in a very short time. So if you like to have a look, the link will be below this video, and once you purchase the tool, just drop me a line and I'll send you the invite link to the corresponding customer chat groups. Thanks for watching, see you and bye bye.